In a world shifting towards stealth and AI, where 5th and 6th generation fighters dominate headlines, one machine still dares to look the enemy in the eye it doesn't hide. It doesn't vanish into radar shadows. It doesn't whisper. It roars. This is a MiG-35, the final evolution of Russia's legendary MiG lineage. A jet born in the Cold War, but forged for modern battles. A fighter that proves one thing to understand the MiG-35. We must travel back to its roots, back to the era of the MiG-29 Fulcrum, a jet that terrified NATO during the Cold War. The MiG-29 wasn't just another Soviet fighter. It was sleek, agile, deadly, built to compete head-to-head with the American F-16 and F-15. And for years it did. Fast, compact, maneuverable. The MiG-29 dominated low-altitude dogfights, but as warfare evolved, the MiG-29 began to show its age by the 2000s. It needed a successor, not just an upgrade, a rebirth. Enter the MiG-35. The MiG-35 wasn't built overnight. Its early prototypes were known as MiG-29M and MiG-29K, naval and multi-role versions of the original Fulcrum. They were experiments, stepping stones. Russia's aerospace engineers at McCoy knew they needed more than just minor upgrades. They needed to reimagine the jet from the inside out. So they kept the DNA of the MiG-29, but added a new brain, a new heart, and sharper claws. The result, a fighter that looked familiar, but flew like nothing else in its class. At first glance, the MiG-35 resembles its older brother, but under the skin, everything is different. Its airframe is built from lightweight composites, extending service life and durability. It features reinforced landing gear and increased internal fuel capacity, giving it longer range, a key weakness of the original MiG-29. Its engines, the RD-33MK turbofans, provide more thrust, less smoke, and greater reliability. And yes, they're thrust vectoring capable in some variants. The MiG-35 doesn't just turn. It dances, and in a close-range dogfight, it's lethal, but speed and agility aren't enough in modern war. To survive today's battlefields, you need brains. The MiG-35's avionics suite is a giant leap forward. Its cockpit is fully glass, with multifunction LCD displays, a hands-on throttle and stick system HOTAs, and voice command integration. Its most powerful feature? The Phasotron Zuka SA radar. This radar allows the MiG-35 to track up to 30 aerial targets at once and engage multiple enemies simultaneously. But the real game changer? The OLSUM electro-optical targeting system, a passive sensor that lets the MiG-35 detect and track enemies without giving away its position. In other words, it can see you even when you can't see it. The MiG-35 is a beast when it comes to firepower. It boasts 9 hardpoints, capable of carrying over 6,500 kilograms of weapons, from R-77 beyond visual range missiles to R-73 heat seekers, from KH-38 air-to-ground missiles to guided bombs. A MiG-35 isn't just an air superiority fighter, it's a multi-role platform. Need to destroy enemy jets? Done. Need to bomb ground positions? No problem. Need to strike ships? It can do that too. Versatility is its deadliest weapon. Modern air combat is not just about offense, it's about survival. And here too, the MiG-35 excels. It comes equipped with radar warning receivers, RWR, laser and missile approach warning systems, chaff and flare dispensers, and even electronic countermeasures, ECM, to jam enemy radars. This fighter isn't just agile. It's hard to kill. Here's a question every military analyst asks. Has the MiG-35 seen real combat? The answer, unlike its older cousin, the MiG-29, which was battle-tested in multiple conflicts, from the Gulf War to Yugoslavia to Syria, the MiG-35 remains unblooded in actual war, but that doesn't mean it's improving. The Russian military has used it in combat exercises, mock dogfights, and live-fire tests, often demonstrating its high maneuverability, advanced radar tracking, and multi-role flexibility. And when international air shows come around, the MiG-35 becomes a showstopper. Its thrust vectoring displays, rapid climbs, and tight turns often rival, and sometimes outperform, even Western jets. Still, one question remains: how will it perform when the missiles are real? Only time will tell. Russia didn't design the MiG-35 just for itself. It had another goal in mind. The global fighter market is brutal. And with competition from the F-16, Gripen, JS-17, and Rafale, the MiG-35 had a standout. Russia marketed the MiG-35 as a cost-effective 4++ generation jet, offering near 5th-gen avionics at a lower price point. Countries like India, Egypt, Argentina, Malaysia, Bangladesh were all considered potential buyers. India, in particular, was a major focus. As part of its MMRCA tender, medium multi-role combat aircraft, the MiG-35 was showcased heavily. It even entered the competition alongside the Rafale and Eurofighter Typhoon. But in the end, India chose the Rafale. The MiG-35 lost. Why? Reports cite limited combat record, slow development, and logistics concerns as key reasons so far. No major export deal has been signed for the MiG-35. But Russia hasn't given up. With each new defense expo and diplomatic mission, the MiG-35's name still appears. Ready for its chance despite the export challenges, the MiG-35 has a home with the Russian Aerospace Forces. In 2019, the first 2 serial MiG-35s were delivered to the Russian military. By 2021, more aircraft were integrated into service, but here's the twist. The Russian Air Force seems to favor Sukhoi fighters, the Su-30SM, Su-34, and Su-35, over MiGs. The MiG-35 was supposed to replace aging MiG-29s and frontline units, yet its adoption has been limited. With only a small number entering operational service, why some believe it's due to higher costs than initially expected, preference for Su family fighters, Russia's focus on 5th-gen jets like the Su-57 fell in still. The MiG-35 serves a purpose. It offers a low-maintenance, agile, multi-role solution, ideal for regional defense, border patrol, and training next-gen pilots in a digitally advanced cockpit. Let's be honest, the MiG-35 isn't stealthy. It doesn't have the deep strike range of the F-15EX. It doesn't match the network warfare capability of the F-35. But what it does offer is raw power, real-world agility, and rugged versatility. Let's compare it briefly. Fighter jet radar max, speed range, thrust vectoring, combat role. MiG-35 Zuk AESA Mach 2.252, 000 km, yes, optional, multi-role, agile. F-16 Block 70 and /APG, 83, AESA Mach 2.02, 200 km, no multi-role, export. JF-17 Block 3 KLJ, 7 AESA Mach 1.62, 000 km, no budget multi-role. Gripen Raven ES, 05 ASA Mach 2.04, 000 km, no advanced lightweight. Su-35 Urbis PESA, Mach 2.253, 600 km, yes, heavy air superiority. The MiG-35 sits in the middle. It's more advanced than legacy fighters, but not as stealthy or powerful as 5th-gen platforms. Its sweet spot nations needing a dependable, modern fighter that doesn't cost $100 million per unit. Even though it was designed in the early 2000s, the MiG-35 is surprisingly future-ready. It's compatible with drone coordination, allowing it to serve as a command hub for unmanned wingmen. It includes data fusion systems, network-centric warfare tools, and potential for AI-based targeting assistance. It can carry precision-guided munitions and even rumored hypersonic-capable missiles in future variants. That makes the MiG-35 a bridge, a transition fighter between the analog past and the autonomous future. Of course, no story is complete without controversy. Critics argue that the MiG-35 was too little, too late, that its development cycle was too long, that it lacked the innovation seen in 5th-gen designs. Some accuse Mikoyan of merely recycling the MiG-29 frame. Others point at a lack of mass production, calling it a PR stunt instead of a genuine game-changer. But supporters fire back. Why build an entirely new airframe when this one still works? They see the MiG-35 as a logical, cost-effective solution, not a revolution, but a refinement. And in war, sometimes refinement is enough. If this is the last of the MiG line, well, way to go out. The MiG-35 represents 4 decades of Soviet and Russian fighter evolution. From the Cold War skies to the 21st century battlefield, the MiG design has endured. It fought NATO jets. It flew in dozens of air forces. It evolved, and now, in the form of the MiG-35, it reaches its peak. It may not be stealthy. It may not carry the latest buzzwords. But when it takes off, when it rolls, pitches, and climbs in an instant, you remember why pilots fell in love with the MiG name in the first place. So what is the MiG-35? It's not a headline hog. It's not a fifth-gen ghost. It's not a budget drone launcher. It's a fighter. In the purest sense of the word, a machine that dares to challenge modern air warfare with strength, with agility, with courage, and maybe, just maybe, the last of its kind. If you love fighter jets, then like the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.